Today we're going to go ahead and start with the design process. Before we get into that, I want to get our engineering notebook set up. So under Unit 1, Design and Problem Solving, you want to click on that. And then right here, Unit 1, Engineering Notebook. I want you to go ahead and you click on that. All right. And it says use this document as your engineering notebook. All right. So you'll just click on the document. It will take you to a copy document, make a copy, okay? It will look like this when it's all done. You can just double click in here, put your name. You can put the date in here that you started it, okay? And I kind of talked about design process a little bit. I kind of talked about this a little bit, but um, this here is the first project or first assignment. All right, I already have it linked, okay, and it's right here. So this one here, when you start the design process, you can either do a link, you can do it in another Google Doc and link it here, or you can just go ahead and start filling this out here with what we got to do with the design process, um, and put screenshots in here, or you can just put it all in here and reflect later. Okay, but once you kind of get a copy made of this, what I want you to do is go to share. Okay, make this here, change this to it probably is defaulted restricted, but I would just do all staff. Okay, and then hit the copy link. All right, and then go to Schoology, click on submission. You will have to hit create and paste in the share link. So go ahead and paste the share link in here. I will use that share link as we go to basically grade it. Okay, so once you get the share link in there, I can look at your progress and make comments on it and things like that if I need to. All right, so let's get started with the design process here. So we'll go to the design process. All right, there is the PowerPoint here if you want to view it. I'm going to go ahead and view it. Okay. So I want to go ahead and view this design process. I'm basically going to go down to, I'm going to give you the quick version. Right here's the design process that we're going to use. The first step is define a problem. So what is the problem that we're trying to solve? Okay. Once we've kind of have the problem figured out, we can start generating concepts. So this is usually where we start doing some research, um, seeing what other concepts are out there, uh, and kind of come up with our own ideas. So once you've kind of generated some concepts or done some research, you will then develop a solution. Sometimes it could be multiple solutions to start with, and then you use a decision matrix to kind of weed that down to like one. But you will develop some solutions. Once you have a viable solution, you can go ahead and construct and test a prototype. And that varies on how you construct it. It could be 3D printed, it could be milled, it could be out of paper, but it needs to be a functional prototype so that you can evaluate the solution. Evaluate the solution is, does it work? Does it do what I want it to do? Is there more work that needs to be done on it? If it is, then it can go back up into any of these areas. And you can also go back up these areas in any step. And then once you're done evaluating the solution, you basically present your solution. So if you're working in a company, you would present it to a board or CEO or something like that, a superior. Here, you're just going to be submitting it in your engineering notebook, and then that's going to be pretty much your presentation of the solution. Okay. Um, all right, so I already kind of talked about the problems a little bit, defining what the problem is. We will be going through the design process in full with this first project, and then we will be going through it multiple times when we start getting into more of our bigger projects. Okay. Um, this here is a decision matrix, which you will be using for yours as well. It's an Excel spreadsheet, but basically you have some criteria like cost, complexity, or development time. And then the bigger the score, the better it is. Usually you score it, I do 1 through 5, so you don't have any ties. But then uh, you go through and it's like, oh, I think this one is the cheapest, so it might get a 5, but it's really complex, so it gets a 1, and it's going to take forever to develop, so it's a 1, and then it would have a score of like 7. And you do idea 2, and so on and so forth. Okay, but that's used to help kind of whittle it down to one solution. Okay, then you make some technical drawings. Um, construct a prototype, like I said. Yours is going to be out of paper. Then you evaluate the solution. Does it work? And then you present it. Okay. And that's pretty much it for that. So I want to go ahead and get into the the assignment. So right here's the decision matrix link. Okay. It's also right here. But you can also use this paper bridge PowerPoint. This is probably a good one to go through, so you can kind of see what you're going to do. Basically, in your engineering notebook that I already showed you, okay, you're going to do this first step. Okay, the date I'm not so worried about, but you're just going to go ahead and you can put in IED Instant Challenge Paper Bridge. Okay, so in here you can just start typing IED Paper Bridge, or you can do it in a different document and put a link in here. It's whatever you want to do. I'm going to close this one. Okay, you're going to type that in there. Then underneath it, you're going to define what the problem is, and you want to span some blocks or cups or something like that with cardstock. I think the assignment says foam cups. It doesn't have to be foam cups. It can be anything that you can kind of set your bridge on to elevate it above the table. It could be books, anything like that. Okay. Um, then constraints. These are your constraints. You're going to get, uh, this says wooden blocks. I think up in here it says cups. These are your constraints right here, which you can kind of copy and paste or put in there. This is basically everything you're filling out. Short title, you define the problem, constraints. The paper must form a continuous chain of connectivity from one book or table or cup, okay, to another without touching the tabletop or the floor. And it can't be any shorter than 24 inches, okay? So try to make one longer than 24 inches, okay? Paper to paper linkage, so linking the papers together will be, or paper together will be considered continuous. Okay. This has only 2 foam cups, but like I said, it can be books, it can be anything you can set your bridge, one end of the bridge up on and the other. And they have to sit on the table or on the floor. You can modify the paper, okay? You can use scissors and you can use about 6 inches of tape, okay? But you cannot modify or tape to the cups or tape to the books or tape it to anything. The tape is just there to help tape the paper to the paper. And you only get one piece of paper per bridge. So you're going to have to take your piece of paper and you're going to have to cut it up to get 24 inches long. Okay. So those are your constraints. You can put those in your engineering notebook as well. You could almost just copy and paste this whole thing and put it in the engineering notebook. Okay. And then go through and put in the problem, put in your research, your prior solution attempts. So you'll just get on the internet and you will go ahead and search up paper bridges. You'll look at some prior solution attempts, put the links in there. If you want to put screenshots, you can put some screenshots, but at least 3 links. So I'm looking at least 3 prior solution attempts that other people have done. And then you're going to take those ideas and you're going to come up with 3 sketches on paper. So you're going to come up with 3 sketches on paper, different sketches that all 3 can be on one piece of paper, but you're going to come up with 3 sketches of your idea. Okay. It can be like a 3D-ish picture or whatever. After you have your 3 ideas, you will go and fill out the decision matrix. So you'll open up the decision matrix. Okay. Looks like this. Okay. Production time, overall cost, material available, design viability, appearance. You can keep all those in there. You have 3 right here. I would go ahead and make a copy of this. As a matter of fact, I'll probably change it so that you have to make a copy. And you'll go ahead and rate it. Like, I think this one's going to take the longest to produce. I think it's going to cost the most. I can't use the material available, so on and so forth. And whichever solution has the highest total, that's the one you're going to go with. Okay. All right. And then after you do that, make sure you put a link to your decision matrix or screenshot it, put it in your engineering notebook. And then based on your decision matrix, you make one final sketch of your design. What's your design going to look like? Okay. That goes in your notebook too. And your 3 sketches also go in your notebook. Then you're going to get a piece of paper. You're going to create your prototype. Okay. I would take and create it. I would take a picture of it before you test it. All right. And then you're going to test your prototype and take a picture of it as you're testing it and document the length. Okay. So you could simply do this in one picture by just putting a yardstick or a tape measure or something next to the bridge as it's suspended on 2 books. So I can kind of see it's over 24 inches and it's not touching the table. Okay. And then finally, you're going to answer these questions. Where did your design fail? If you try to annotate pictures on where it failed, how could you improve it? How did testing improve your design? What, maybe what you do differently, things like that. Okay. You're not getting graded on whether it works or not. You're getting graded on completing the design process, the whole process. Okay. So you will then go ahead and get that and put it in your engineering notebook, and you will be good to go with the design process. All right. In this class, I'm only going to be grading the engineering notebook. So once you got your information put into the engineering notebook, you can go ahead and submit a share link to this assignment to get graded. So if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to contact me up here. Okay, and we'll get it situated. Okay, so once you get done with the design process, you can go ahead and move on to sketching. And I will have a video there going over a little bit of sketching and going over the assignment for you to hand things in. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Don't forget to smash that like button, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.